Alright guys, so today's video I figured we'd do a comparison between the brand new EarFun Free Mini and the Soundcore Life P2 Mini, since they're both labeled as mini earbuds, and I wanted to do this comparison because they're both from companies that I usually enjoy a lot of their products. So we're going to see what the difference is when it comes to features, when it comes to the sound, but let's go ahead and start with the price, because both of these actually show that they retail for 40 bucks, although right now the Soundcore is down to 32 on Amazon, and the EarFun Free Mini is down on sale and a coupon code, which brings it all the way down to 19 bucks. So we're talking about a $13 price difference, but both of these we're looking at $32 and under. So these are some inexpensive earbuds, but let's go ahead and start with the style of these. They are two completely different styles because the Soundcore has the stem style design, although it is a smaller stem, where the EarFun is just your normal earbud. There's no stem, it's just basically the round shape that goes into your ear. So already off the bat, it could just come down to personal preference, but usually I'm not a fan of the stem style earbuds. Now, another thing that I wanted to say at the beginning is neither one of these work with an app. Sometimes Soundcore does release earbuds that work within their app, so you don't have control over a bunch of different things. There's not, some customized EQ options, although the Soundcore does have 3 built-in EQ settings on the earbud itself, which is their normal signature sound, there is a bass booster, and then there is a podcast mode, which is bringing out dialogue a little bit more. So it is nice that the Soundcore has these features. Now, as far as the technology that each of these use, the EarFun is only using Bluetooth 5.0, where the Soundcore is using 5.2. But I did notice that neither one of these had any kind of issue when it came to lag on movies and videos, and both of them had about the same minimal lag when it came to gaming. So either one of these can be used for different types of media, and you don't have to really worry about lag. Now, if you are looking for a pair to use at the gym, or if you're somebody that uses your earbuds outdoors a little more, there is a difference here because the Soundcore comes in rated at IPX5, which means it's water resistant, where the EarFun comes in rated at IPX7. So it's completely waterproof. If you drop it into the water, you're gonna be fine. So the EarFun just gives you a little bit more peace of mind if you're gonna be using these outdoors. Now, as far as the accessories that come with these earbuds, the EarFun is giving you 3 sets of silicone ear tips and a USB-C cable, where the Soundcore comes with 4 sets of silicone ear tips and that same USB-C cable. And you're gonna have to use a USB-C cable to charge either one of these because the case on both is not a Qi wireless charging case. And in this price range, that's kind of to be expected. And speaking of the charging, there's definitely a difference when it comes to the battery life. If you're gonna use the Soundcores, you can get around 8 hours on the earbuds and around 40 hours using the case. And there is a fast charge feature on those where a 10-minute charge will get you an hour's worth of use, where the EarFun is only going to give you 5 hours on a single charge and around 24 hours using the case. But it does have a better fast charge where a 10-minute charge will get you 2 hours of use. So again, that's going to come down to personal preference. Obviously, you're going to get better battery life with the Soundcore, but if you're somebody that usually forgets to charge your earbuds and you're walking out the door, it is kind of nice to know that you're going to get 2 hours out of 10 minutes instead of 1 hour in the 10 minutes. But again, that's going to come down to the user itself. Now, moving over to looking at the cases and the earbuds to both of these. The case is small on both. Now, both of these do have USB-C inputs on the back, where the EarFun has a single indicator light on the front. The Soundcore is giving you 3 indicator lights, and this is what allows you to see how much battery life you have on both of these cases. Now, when you open up the lids to look at both earbuds, again, they are 2 completely different styles. They both do use touch controls, but only one gives you control over everything, and that's the EarFun. So the Soundcore does not give you control over volume, but the Soundcore does allow you to switch between those 3 different built-in EQ options. So again, that's going to come down to personal preference. I personally just like to have control over everything, especially volume, because I don't always keep my phone in my pocket or have it right there around me. So I could be walking around the office or my house, and I just like to control everything on the earbuds themselves. Now, as far as you guys that do like to use your earbuds for phone calls, I think the mics on both do a very decent job when it comes to phone calls, and I also think they both do almost an even job with blocking out their surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to both tests here.
So here is a mic test using the EarFun Free Minis. Again, I think overall it picks up my voice very well. It does feel a little bit on the warmer side, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test of the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test using the Life P2 Minis, which I think sounds pretty similar to the EarFuns. I think it does a really good job of picking up my voice. I do, again, feel like it sounds a little warm, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And then here's the mic test of the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what these would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound. And immediately when I saw the spec sheet and saw that the Soundcore is using a 10mm driver where the EarFun is using a 6mm driver, I thought there was going to be a huge sound difference between the two. In fact, I thought the Soundcore was going to be the clear winner here, and that's not really the case. Again, this comes down to personal preference because the Soundcore with its 10mm driver is giving you more bass. It's not as controlled as it is on the EarFun. It looks like they're focused on giving you quality over quantity when it comes to bass, because the EarFun is definitely more controlled, although it still has a lot of bass. And I felt like the mids and the highs were definitely tuned up more and a lot cleaner on the EarFun. So they do have two different sound signatures. I felt like the EarFun was aimed a little bit more at a cleaner sound with a tight, punchier bass, where the Soundcore was a little bit more geared towards bass. I still felt like mids and treble came through very well on the Soundcore. They're just not as elevated as it is on the EarFun. So again, this is going to come down to personal preference, and also keep in mind you can switch it into that podcast mode if you're more focused on wanting to hear dialogue and things like that. But the podcast mode does not sound good with music. I also felt like the bass boost mode was just a little too much. I've already felt like the signature mode that the Soundcores were in definitely had plenty of bass, so I didn't really feel the need to elevate it even more. And another thing too that the bass affected was that soundstage and sound imaging, because the EarFuns had a little bit more of an open soundstage where the Soundcore was a little bit more closed in because of it having that boomier, bassy feel. It felt a little bit more like two large speakers instead of being in a more open environment. So my overall conclusion is this: you can't go wrong with either, especially given their price tag. And again, it's going to come down to what it is you're looking for. If you're just looking for better battery life, you're looking for options to be able to switch between different EQ settings, and you're more of a bass head, then I definitely recommend going with the Soundcore. But if you're looking for a much cleaner sound and something that just, in my opinion, worked better across a lot more genres, if you're looking for something that's waterproof, if you're going to be using these around the pool or the beach or something like that, then I definitely recommend going with the EarFun. But I think this is one of those cases that, again, if you bought either one of these, I think you're going to be completely happy. You're not having to invest a lot of money, so that's always nice. And I thought this was an interesting comparison because they're both labeled as minis. They're similar in a lot of ways, but there's some drastic differences in some of the categories too. So guys, that wraps up my comparison between the EarFun Free Mini and the Soundcore Life P2 Mini. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.